What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we finally have the data download for the brand new SugoFest batch arriving to One Piece Treasure Cruise Global, which was none other than Bartolomeo and Cavendish dual unit, which is what I was predicting for the longest time. And I guess a lot of people really predicted this, but it was cemented in stone once we saw that Treasure Map Doflamingo was coming out, and also Colosseum Pika was coming out as well. So now we have full confirmation. Here we can see the SugoFest will be beginning on the 26th of August, and there will be multiple parts in this SugoFest, as we'll talk about. We're going to go through the SugoFest structure in this particular video today. I'll upload another video as well where we'll go through all of the new rare recruits available in this batch, including the brand new SugoFest exclusive character being Bartolomeo and Cavendish. I know a lot of people out there really love the Barto and Cavendish unit. They're pretty much a fan favorite in terms of the characters themselves. The unit themselves is very, very exceptional too. But as I said, in this video, we're going to be breaking down the structure. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and check. Okay, there's no new banners here as well. Just wanted to double check that. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump in. New Barto and Cavendish appear as voiced SugoFest exclusive characters, plus a new Ideo, Haruden, Elisabello, and Sai are all here. Now, these characters are pretty awesome. So, as I said, if you want the full details about these characters, go watch the other video that I'll upload as well, going through the new SugoFest characters. So, obviously here it says that it's going to be 4-star or better, so golds or higher, which is always nice to see, of course. It's going to go through the character information for Barto and Cavendish. We're going to skip over that because we will go ahead and talk about that in my other video. So anyways, it's going to be split into 3 separate parts: part 1, part 2, part 3. Rate boosted characters are going to be changing each time here. I actually haven't seen what characters are rate boosted what days. It's going to be interesting to see. Also, I just want to put that out there, that I'm not going to be doing pulls on this SugoFest. If anything, I'll only be doing the 30 gem multi. I'm not going in on the SugoFest. Like, the character themselves is very, very good, but I'm personally going to be saving some gems for future SugoFest, because we know there are so many good SugoFests in the future. You know, Luffy and Law, Stampede, Douglas Bullet, Sabo and Koala. There's so many good characters in the mix coming up that I feel like a character like this, yes, they are good, but I would prefer to, you know, potentially get them later on. That's just my personal opinion. I'm still going to be pulling on the next Treasure Map SugoFest, that is for sure, but I'm going to be skipping this particular SugoFest batch. If that's anything to go ahead and show you guys as to, you know, the caliber of this batch compared to some of the more recent stuff that we've actually received on Global. But I digress. Getting into this, Elisabello, Haruden, Ideo, and Sai all here. Part 1 is going to be from the 26th until the 29th. Part 2 from the 29th until the 1st of September. And then from the 1st of September until the 3rd of September will be the final day of the SugoFest. All 3 parts do not reoccur. It is only, you know, part 1, and once part 1 is done, it is not coming back. So if there are characters that you want to pull for in part 1, part 2, or part 3, make sure to pull on those days. So let's go ahead and get into the structure of this SugoFest. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 all have the exact same structure, which is very, very interesting. Typically on big SugoFest, they like to go ahead and, you know, have specific things available for Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And just looking at myself, like at this SugoFest myself personally, I was expecting them to, like, potentially change the structure of this SugoFest very, very differently. Kind of similar to what they did with V2 Jinbei. If you guys don't remember, when V2 Jinbei debuted, I know a lot of people, like, heading into that SugoFest weren't really going to be pulling on that Sugo. But what they did is they introduced limited rare recruit Hody and made him guaranteed after 2 multi-pulls on the SugoFest. It was a nice change of pace, and it really incentivized people to pull on that SugoFest. I was actually expecting them to do the same thing here, because a lot of people that I talk to online on Discord, or even like in the comment section on my streams and stuff, a lot of people weren't really going to be pulling here on this SugoFest for Barto and Cavendish, and because of that, I was kind of thinking it was the same thing as Jinbei. Kind of weird that they haven't changed anything here, but let's go ahead and go through it. So as I said, first multi-pull on every single part is guaranteed to be a 30 gem multi. Part 2, multi 2 and multi number 5, like that they've done this now, guaranteed to be a rate boosted character. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it really doesn't matter because it's a rate boosted, not a recommended character. That's the big difference. You have to take that into consideration. So what that means is that can include any of the rare recruits that are boosted on that part. that can be also guaranteed to be the 11th unit on multi 2 and 5. However, if it was a recommended character, it would be one of these characters here on the actual recommended characters list on the actual banner, which typically include very, very good characters that everyone is looking for. BARTO Cavendish, Sanji Judge, Capone, Ideo, Harudin, Elizabello, and Sai. So that would have been awesome if, you know, guaranteed to get one of those units on multi 2 and 5. Unfortunately, not the case. It's only a rate boosted character, so take that into consideration when potentially deciding whether to be pulling or not. Moving on from that, multi 3, 6, and 8 are guaranteed to be SugoFest exclusive characters. Nothing special here, just a guaranteed legend. Now, multi 10, it says it's going to be a guaranteed legend with limited pool. So it's a limited pool legend. Again, nothing really too special. And then multi 12, now, when I first read this, this was very intriguing. I don't really know specifically what they mean by this, but it says, last wanted poster, guaranteed to be a super limited pool SugoFest exclusive. And then it says below that, Barto and Cavendish, Bickering Rebels, will be further rate boosted for this super limited pool. To be quite honest, to be quite frank, they should have just said guaranteed Barto and Cavendish, 12 multis, and I think a lot of people would have done 12 multis for guaranteed Barto and Cavendish, believe you me. I think that if they made it just guaranteed, like, people would legit do 12 multis for this character. He is kind of worth 12 multis. I'm not gonna lie, he is a very, very good legend. He's easily, like, close to that tier 0 positioning, very, very close to it in terms of how good he is. I don't know why they've done this. It's like, you know, you just guarantee the unit. That would have been so much better, but it is what it is. I don't control this. It's going to be very intriguing, to say the least, as to what the rate for Barto and Cavendish is going to be. Not only just regularly throughout the SugoFest, but specifically this 12th pool, because when it says they're going to be further rate boosted for this super limited pool, how further rate boosted is that really going to be? That's going to be the interesting factor here. Now, in terms of the rate boosted characters here, for part 1, limited pool, SugoFest exclusive, so this is the 10th multi-pool on part 1. This also gives us an insight as to the characters that are rate boosted for part 1. We have Barto and Cavendish, of course, they're going to be boosted for all parts. Then we've got Sanji and Judge, fantastic unit. Been loving using them ever since that I pulled them. They are so good. Capone Gang Bedge, we did actually see that on the recommended characters list as well. Charlotte Linlin, okay, fair enough. Soul King Brook, Gold Emperor Gil Pezoro, Shiki, Don Quixote V2. Interesting they add Don Quixote V2, Don Quixote de Flamingo V2, because he is kind of outdated now. The fact that we have Barto and Cavendish dual unit, very, very interesting decision, but he's here on part 1. And then for the super limited pool, which is referring to the 12th multi on part 1, you have Barto and Cavendish, Sanji Judge, Capone, then you have Linlin and Brook. Dude, that's kind of rough. If you do 12 multis, you could potentially get a Brook or a V1 Big Mom, which is not that good. I mean, Capone is still really strong, Sanji and Judge is still fantastic, and then obviously Barto and Cavendish are amazing as well. As I said, it's really going to be coming down to how much of a boost do they get of their rate in that 12th multi. It's going to be very intriguing, and, you know, considering the rates of debut legends in previous SugoFests that we've had, I'm not really expecting a character like this to have, like, crazy good rates. You know, rates that I would feel like to be acceptable in a SugoFest like this, I feel like if Barto and Cavendish are at least 0.15%, I think that's reasonably acceptable, and that's what most, or if not all, debut legends should at least have 0.15% chance to be pulled. So I'm hoping that they're at least that or higher. That would be pretty acceptable in my book. In terms of part 2, so let's have a look here. So for part 2, you've got Barto and Cavendish, Carrot is boosted, Dex Sabo is boosted, V2 Sanji, Luffy and Ace, Zephyr, Robin, and Gear 4 Luffy. So I think part 2 has a very, very nice spread array of boosted units. I think all of them there are pretty useful characters that definitely still see play in today's meta, so that's very good. And then on the 12th multi of part 2, you're guaranteed to get Barto Cavendish, or Carrot, or Dex Sabo, or V2 Sanji, or Luffy and Ace. Now I feel like part 2's pull overall is a better part in terms of boosted characters. That's my personal opinion. You may disagree, and it really does come down to what characters you are missing, but overall, looking at the balance of things, I think part 2 looks really good right now. Now, in terms of part 3, what do we have? We've got BARTO Cavendish, Charlotte Katakuri V2, Cracker is in here as well, Quick Whitebeard as well, Legend Jack, Monkey D Garp. Dude, Garp is boosted every single SugoFest. I am so sick of it. I am so sick of Garp being raid boosted. V2 Jinbei and also version 1 Judge is here as well. So then moving on to the 12th multi of part 3, you've got BARTO Cavendish, or you can get V2 Katakuri, or Cracker, Quick Whitebeard, or Jack. Dude, I am missing 1, 2, 3. I'm missing 3 of those legends. No, I'm not doing pulls. No, I have to restrain myself. No, there's no reason to be pulling here. No reason to be pulling here. But that part 3 is so goddamn good for me personally. Now, having a look at this, you've got BARTO Cavendish, V2 Katakuri, as we said, Cracker, Quick Whitebeard, and Jack. Dude, I think part 3 is the best. Honestly, like, I'm not saying that because they're the ones that I'm missing, but if you have a look at it right, every one of these characters is going to see play. You have BARTO Cavendish, phenomenal. V2 Katakuri, phenomenal. Cracker, best sub in the game. Quick Whitebeard, phenomenal. Jack, really useful to have that EXP captain. It's kind of like Buggy, right? You want to get him once, and you don't really want to see too many dupes of Legend Jack. I do feel like part 3 is the best pool of legends. In my personal opinion, it looks really, really good. Now, obviously, preemptively here, where we see these banner, we don't have the list of rare recruit characters that are boosted, so that is quite unfortunate, but overall, it's a pretty interesting SugoFest. Now, would I suggest you guys to be pulling here? Probably not. If you guys have seen my video that I made a couple weeks ago, I basically went through the best SugoFest that we're expecting, you know, here on out. And definitely, as I said at the start of the video, we're expecting characters like Luffy and Law, who's actually should be coming technically really soon. Stampede, Douglas Bullet, we have no idea when they're going to be dropping that. That could come anywhere from next week till, like, you know, anniversary. Like, there is a very wide span of area where they could drop that SugoFest. So I would say, you know, stay very, very aware, because Douglas Bullet is going to be an amazing character to be summoning for, especially because it is a 2x legend rate debut. And then obviously Sabo and Koala, who are probably one of my favorite legends in the game. They're very, very powerful, utilizing 2 of the best classes in the game as well. So I would strongly suggest not to be pulling here just because of the characters that we know are coming. But it is completely up to you at the end of the day. So anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of the SugoFest, giving you my thoughts and opinions on it. If you guys agree, make sure to let me know. And if you don't agree, you know, on my opinions on this SugoFest, let me know. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.